You see this issue about parents working, mother is working, father is working, 8 hours job, or father is always traveling, hustling for business, for money. The mother is also busy. The children will be left in the care of either the housemaids or relatives. Some of the relatives are also spoiled. That is how they will spoil the whole children for you before you know it. You will go and come back tired and go and sleep. You will not know what is happening. You will not put eye down in what is going on in the lives of your children or what they need from you. They'll be dying in silence. So, and then some of them that the father is no longer around, maybe divorce or separation, the mother carry the whole load on her head. She has to run around for money. The children are at home. When you're at work, you don't know where they go and come back. Before you know it, they will look for comfort in the hands of strangers, and they will fall in love with people, and people will take advantage of them. So if they are girls, some of them will get pregnant, have children. If they are boys, they will go out there, join bad gang or pregnant women, or even some of them get man, go carry your pikin. You don't know what is happening. So this is all what happen when both parents are hustlers. In a normal sense, one parent should stay at home, which normally mostly is the woman that stays at home, sacrifice her all her years for the children. But it's worth it, because when you put down your eyes and stay with the children, you will learn a lot. You will teach them a lot. By the time you start running around, they will take over from there. They will never depart from what you taught them. And make sure whatever you are doing is not tying you down, that you will not be there for them until they are mature and grown enough to take care of themselves. So this is the case of what happened now between Ukeme and the sister and the whole family, especially family where there are girls. So you can see how everything ended up. Both of them got pregnant twice, and they never got married because of one silly mistake or the other. On the side of peace, she was more coordinated and knew what she wanted in her life. She was not allowed to go to school. She was called back, and that drew her back. And I know that if she knew better, she would not have listened to them. She would have stubbornly stayed and round up her school. But coming back home, before you know it, she fell in love with someone, and before you know it, she already have 2 children. And this was someone that wanted a future with her. But the sister's intervention and the mother's intervention, everything scattered it, especially when the big sister arrested the fiancé just because they didn't want her to go back to him. It's not as if they were fighting or were having any violence, but just because the big sister felt that she will not be alive and watch her younger sister get married to the love of her life and start having family while she remained in the family house. So she made sure she destroyed it, which Peace made a mistake by allowing it, even though then she was so young and naive, and UK being very, very older than her, and her mom also supporting, and her dad was nowhere to be found, because if her dad was there, everything would have been different. And at the end of the day, because of UK also slapping the father-in-law to be of the younger sister, there was no way they will allow her to be in that family, because those things that happen will never wipe from their memory. And they know that UK will always be involved in their life. But it was up to Peace then to make sure UK and the mom never intervene in her life. If she had known when they asked her to come home to have the child, she would have known that it was a plot, knowing fully well that her family members could not be trusted. But she trusted them and came back, and that was how they scattered her future and made her be in situation she is now as a single mom. But then again, nothing is too late. If God had destined that marriage to work, it would have worked. But she knew better, because when she went to be with him, finally, when they were tired of fighting him, everything changed, and she had to leave the relationship, knowing fully well that the man she was with was no longer the man she knew, especially when it comes to physical abuse. If somebody you are not yet married to raise your hands on you, no matter what, just know that once you get in, na pounding, you go to pound you. After the first beating, na so beating go to follow they go. So she was wise enough to walk away from the relationship, and with all the goes going on between the family, she was able to walk away. And now she's catering for her 2 children. On the case of Ukeme, she herself should have known better. When your sister got pregnant with someone, you yourself should have made sure you you get married before you start having children. You do it in a proper way to show good example. But no, you went to almost you pay the man to get you pregnant because you bringing him into the house and feeding him and him sleeping in your mother's room was a sign that you were trying to support him for him to be able to do the work. And he ended up knocking her out. She had that child and there was buzz, fight everywhere. Everything ended. She still went on to get pregnant with another person. When she was supposed to have known that she should be more careful in the second time not to get pregnant with anybody until she's sure that this person is the one. But she still went on to get pregnant, making her a mother of 2 sons from different fathers. Okay, after everything, she felt that she had won, that she got the victory by finally meeting a man who wants to settle down with her. The marriage itself didn't last more than 2 years. You see? And that was how the whole basbos started. Out of bitterness and anger, she started maltreating everybody around her, being bitter against her cousins, her own sister and everything. And that was how she ended up in her situation now. What she was trying to prove is that her sister was fighting with her boyfriend and she was always called to settle fight, which was a big lie because according to her sister, she said when she went to stay with the guy, nobody knew she was pregnant. Then when the pregnant was 7 months, she went, a pastor was the one who asked her if her parents knew she was pregnant, and she said no. Her pastor helped her to call the mom to inform her. Not that Ukeme was called to come and fight. So after informing the mom, they asked her to come home to have the baby. And she coming home thinking that peace has been restored, not knowing that they were planning a bigger fight. So after having the baby, the next thing, they lock up the husband, that is the boyfriend. And before you know it, the family of the guy got involved. Before you know it, they came there to make peace. Before you know it, Ukeme slapped the man. Now tell me how everything is going to be settled. First of all, you locked his son. Secondly, you slapped him. The family will not want to associate with that family as in-law because of what took place. So that was how everything scattered. Then Ukeme thinking that now she had won because finally her sister had to leave the guy when she noticed that he had changed. She came back home and her sister was like, well, after everything you came home, we were telling you, in school you no go, marriage you no marry, and now you are with 2 children. So as these things were going on, Ukeme was thinking that okay, now she herself supposed to know better and not even have any child outside wedlock, knowing that it doesn't always end well. But she went on to have her own 2 children. So tell me, their mom will be tagged a bad mom for having 2 children that got pregnant outside wedlock and have 2 children, have two children without marriage. But looking on the inside, you will see that the well-behaved one is the younger one who had 2 children from the same man. It's almost as if she's married because her parents, her mom is aware of the guy she was dating. Her parents were aware of him. And they were almost married because they were living together. They were together and they had those 2 children. But on Ukeme's side, she being the elder one, she didn't try at all for misbehaving, having children with irresponsible men. Now, she's on her own taking care of these 2 children, not knowing where the fathers are. So, but one thing I want to tell parents now is that if you have children, try to be there for them, especially when they are small, during their teenage age. Those times, they need their parents the most. And for the fact that you brought them into this world, it is your responsibility. Don't say, I have already given back to them if they like. No. You brought them, they were on their own. You brought them into this world. So it is your responsibility to make sure you guide them in the right path, right from that their toddler age until they pass their teenage age. With all that teenage age, everything. You make sure you guide them. By the time they are in their 20s, they will be following that guide. Not that they won't make mistakes. Sometimes they might make mistakes as a normal human being, but they will immediately recall their brain and reset their thinking. But when you are not there for them during that time, they will just pick up characters from different people around them, from the streets. You see, there was this young boy that I know. So he was telling his story. He said their mom had them, and the mom and the dad separated when they were young. So everything was on their mom. So there were 5 of them, and their mom took them to her mother. That is their grandmother. So they were with their grandmom, and their mom traveled to look for money. And whatever she gets, she sent to the grandmother to take care of them. But the grandmother and her other children, they also needed money. So they were sharing the money, and the children that they were sending the money for, we are not getting enough food. So they had to turn to the streets to survive. So if their mother sent something like 200 euro, the grandmom had to take out 100 euro to give to her other children that are also struggling, without the mom knowing, and use the little to feed her own children. So the children were not happy because they thought their mom would be there for them, but them forgetting that their dad is not even around, and then their mom is trying to cater for them the way she could. They grew up and they scattered, and this one went this way, that one went this way. But right now, this person, I don't know the brothers and the sister, but this particular person loathes his mom. The way he talks about her, he was blaming her for everything, for going in the street. Because when they went into the street, they started stealing, they dragged chain from people's neck, they started smoking, living bad life, to the extent that he has been locked up like 2 or 3 times. He has gone to jail at the age of 12, 13 years because they stole something, because they fought, all those things. And their mom was nowhere to be found. And they now value their dad more than their mom, forgetting that their dad abandoned them right from time and went away. They were now looking for a way to reconcile with their dad who abandoned them. Then the mom that was doing all those sacrifices, they were blaming her for not being there, for not being around. But I was trying to tell him that you should also think that your mom was hustling too, even though she was doing it in the wrong way. But that was her only choice. Since your dad that was supposed to be hustling and be sending money for her to take care of you, he left. And now everything fell on her. So she had to be the man and the mother and the father. And she had to leave you people in the care of her own mother. So it never ends well. So that is why, number one, you should be careful with the kind of person you are making a family with. If you notice that the person is irresponsible, you should pick race. Because after having, especially when the children are many, the person will disappear, leaving you alone to cater. And when you look around, you will not know who to drop those children with. You cannot hustle very well if you are with them. So it's either you end up begging with them or drop them off with a relative. Most people drop their children with their mom, their dad, but the children will always feel abandoned, and it will affect them in their social life growing up. When they are grown, it will cause them mental illness, because that is the age they need the love and care and guidance of their parents. So what I'm trying to say is that the only way everything should be corrected is for us to set good example for our own children. Anything that will bring harm or cause mental illness, to our kids, we should try to take those things out of their lives. Make sure we stay with them, be with them. You see how Ukeme lured her sister to herself, and her sister sent her eldest child to Ukeme. What did Ukeme do? Out of carelessness, the child picked something and ate. Ukeme could not open her mouth. Call her sister that she talked with every day. Even her sister called her and told her she had a bad dream, that something happened to her child. Something that God revealed to her. Ukeme said he couldn't talk. He couldn't tell her. If it's something that happened to Ukeme's child, you can hide it from your sister, but her own child. And you know what she passed through to have that child. So how do you expect her to start forgiving you? How do you start making amends? And you think we'll just move on like that? So we learn every day. And parents should be careful of who you leave your children with while you are out there hustling and working. Because your children will not tell you everything that went on. You yourself might be too tired to ask when you come back home. Make sure you listen to them whenever they want to talk. Even if what they are talking is blabbing or yapping. Listen to them and understand their feelings. Each one of them needs your attention. Don't pay one attention and push one away. Don't love one more than the other. Make sure you show them equal love. What you can afford for one, make sure you don't get it until you can afford it for all of them. Don't say, oh, this one is my elder sister, or she's the sharpest one, and then leave others. Or say that this is the one that always wants something. Just because others are quiet, they don't talk too much. They also need those things. Because if you are doing it, you are creating enmity and the jealousy and hatred and future disaster in the lives of your children. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Bye bye.